your host. This is another episode of Trade Secrets. It's my podcast where we talk to people who actually make records, as in people who play on records, engineers, artists, managers, everybody that gets the records out there to you. So listening public, listen in. That's all I'm saying. These are the people that know what's up. So today my guest is the incredible, amazing, unbelievable, master of the low end, Nathan East.
Drum roll, please.
So Nathan, this is unscripted and kind of stream of consciousness, but I have a basic, loose format that I follow, and I start with the basics.
We recorded "Never Gonna Let You Go There" for Sergio Mendes, and I mean, so many records. Anita Baker's, from songstress.
Now she is an interesting character.
She's
lover, treasure.
Yep.
Crazy,
and
but awesome.
We've done so many records together, and there's
you
only
would be
one
a calming
voice.
influence.
Yeah, well, in this day and age too, I prefer calm.
Yeah. Don't. That's a goal.
There are a lot of storms out there nowadays, But this is that's why I wake up and meditate every morning.
Dude, and this is a haven. I mean, we're so blessed, and
oh my goodness,
I really pinch myself, and I know you do too. I know we have that same positive outlook. That's like, I can't believe we get to do what we love, and
right,
and you make money.
And East West Studios. I mean, they say Disneyland's they say it's the happiest place on earth, but I would tend to think that East West Studios is the happiest place on earth, and I love coming here to go to work here.
Oh man, I'm so happy to hear you say that. We do our best, It's we just basically, with someone like you, got to just get you what you need and get out of the way.
Well, thank you, and I know my son Noah and I have been in here for the last week every day, and for him, it's like this is like his first really experience making a record.
Gonna be spoiled forever.
He's gonna
be screwed. He's gonna go to somebody's house, and they're not gonna have somebody. He's gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
He said when the lottery was up to $1 billion, he said, "You know what? If I won the lottery, I would try to buy Studio 2 at East West Studios." He could buy the whole place. We're
gonna work it out.
Let's work out a deal.
I'll set up a meeting. So I jump around, and it's my fault. I have to bring us both back. So when did you first? Your brother played. You mentioned that. When did you first pick up a bass?
See, so when my brother David played guitar and my brother Ray sang at the folk masses, and so we were in Christ the King Church in San Diego. They were rehearsing. I was tagging along. There was a bass on the altar. And it was just sitting there. Nobody was playing it.
Upright bass.
No, a regular. It was
an electric bass.
A red Gibson EB3 bass, and it just looked beautiful. 4 strings. I'm sitting there.
I did burp.
Tagging along, and I. Is this anybody's? Nobody knew. Would it be okay to pick it up and play? I picked it up, and that was it. Changed my life. 14 years old. Changed my life forever.
Dude, that's a little late.
Yeah, it's a little bit late. I'm glad by the time I, hit 14, I was able to see. But it was, then they let me be in the band, and then.
I don't think they just let you, though. I think you might have proved yourself.
But I just figured out, like, you play these, you just strike these notes, and all of a sudden it's just this magical sound. And,
I don't think people realize, especially those shredder guitar guys out there, I don't think people realize how hard bass actually is. Because it's not that easy.
It's funny. I tried to play guitar and I thought the bass was easier, but then the thing that is challenging is you have to really have a lot of wisdom on what to play, And
yeah, you got to sit back.
You have to sit back and you have to kind of squeeze yourself into the situation, and that takes a lot of
really hard with a lot of guitar players.
Trust me.
But that's why the bass player and the drummer.
Yeah.
Are so cohesive and so important to each other, because you're holding up the rhythm and you're looking at each other going, what are these fuckers doing? We're playing in time. What's going on over here?
Well, there's a marriage. That's where the true marriage is. And you think of like building a house, the bass and drums would be the foundation of the house.
Sure.
So, and our job is support. Frame the song, the artist. And a lot of people don't pay attention to the song. But it's the song.
Without question, I've said that more than once. If a song, it's all about the song. Obviously, performance is key. but the song elicits the emotion. Okay.
Exactly.
So just don't fuck up the song.
Just ask Quincy Jones,
Yeah.
know, or any of the top producers, and it's about the song. And the thing that they say too is just you have to listen. Everybody wants to learn to pick up an axe and they play, and then they want to show you what they practice in their bedroom. No, you want to listen to what's going on around you.
Yeah, because how else are you going to sort of, and that's the thing I think that's true of, people think it's only true of jazz, where people innovate on the fly. That's not true. It happens in all genres of music. And if you're a good bass player, obviously there can be, there's the song and the melody, and someone could say, oh, this is what I want you to play. But the thing is like, this is what I think, or you just start playing what you think would be appropriate. And 9 times out of 10 for someone like you, they're going to be like, oh yeah, that's it.
Well,
like keep doing that.
Well, I don't profess to come in and know exactly what to play.
Right.
If you made
you
a demo,
hear it.
Yeah, and working with some great producers like Babyface, or sometimes the guys make demos, and I listen and I said, I'll play that. I'll play what they came up with.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just say, listen, let me know if you do or don't like what I'm playing.
Right. If you want me to change it or add
yeah,
something.
and I'm not trying to say this is going to be the absolute thing that has to be played for this record.
I don't think anybody questions you.
No, come on.
The good thing about doing something for a while is that you either actually are so good that people don't question you, or they've just been brainwashed and they don't question you. I don't know. I can't figure it out whether I'm actually good at my job or people just like don't want to fuck with it.
Well, there is the 10,000 hour rule too.
Okay.
I think I've done 10,000 hours in here.
Oh, probably.
Since 40 years worth. But I was just going to say, too, like when we recorded Tears in Heaven with Eric Clapton, the song played me. I was holding the bass, but we were recording, and to know Connor like that, and to just think about like what that song meant. It was really one of those things where like I didn't know what I played until after it was finished. And then
you're channeling at that point,
to hear
right?
it back, yeah, and so that's what I try to do, is let the songs play me, and then
I
just
love that.
Be a vessel for letting the music come through me, and that's where I think we have to have the mindset of when we come in, we have a blank piece of tape or hard drives nowadays.
Yeah, computer.
But with that blank piece of tape, we're gonna let the music come through us. And, when I worked with Stevie Wonder, I never seen anything like that. Like the music comes through him. And he goes to write a bridge, and while he's doing that, the 5 songs come out.
Yeah, it's great. Right. Yeah, you hear melodies. You're like, oh, wait, we got to keep that. That's cool.
Yeah. And at 4 a.m. too.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't care what time it is.
Exactly.
What we were laughing about this the other day. How funny is it? Stevie's always making fun of himself for being blind.
Right.
Like he's always commenting on it, and he's so lighthearted about it. And you played that Quincy's 90th birthday show, and Stevie came out and at the Hollywood Bowl a couple weekends ago. It was so amazing. I was so fortunate to be able to go. It was such an incredible, you guys, the original rhythm section, you, Paul Jackson Jr., John Robinson.
Greg Fillinganes.
Just like, yeah, it's fucking nuts. And
the team.
But Stevie came out, and I told you this the other day. I cracked up because he was like, yeah, I met Quincy when I was 14 at the Apollo Theater, and I was running up and down the staircase trying to get candy from people, knocking people over. And he said, I want you just to tell me, I know Ray Charles drives. I want to know how Ray Charles drives, because that, and I was just cracking up. I thought that was so funny. And then you told me that sometimes he gets in a car and drives around the lot.
At the Forum, or, in the afternoon when there's nobody in the parking lot, and he'll get in the car and
dude, I want to be in the car with Stevie Wonder.
Go for a
spin. What I mean? Like hit a I don't know, whatever barrier.
I think a carpool karaoke with him driving would.
Oh God, that'd be so funny, right?
It would be amazing.
I keep jumping around. I'm so bad. So, 14 years old, you pick up the bass at church with the brothers. You're in high school or junior high school at that point. Any formal training, any music school like Juilliard or anything crazy like that?
Well, no, I did. I did major in music at UC San Diego, and
what a great
that's where
place,
I got my
right?
degree.
UC San Diego and
Oh, my
UC
goodness.
Santa Barbara. Everybody
There
can
you-
see. Yeah,
There you are on the ocean,
Yeah.
and watching the sunset every day. No, it was fantastic.
Oh my God, how fun!
and some of the most amazing years of my life. I met my wife at UC San Diego
Yes.
50 years ago.
She's so cool.
Oh,
She's so gorgeous, your wife. And your kids are so good looking, too.
Oh, bless you.
Nathan's good looking, but his wife's really good looking. Oh, that's right. There is video. People will know.
It's a good thing she cheats on me. No.
She's so cool. Isn't she like a brain surgeon or something?
She's a pediatrician.
Well, that's the same thing. I don't know, kids,
very
brains,
smart.
whatever.
She's the smartest person in the family. But I feel very, very fortunate and blessed. And I think about how that was sort of ground zero. And you think about when you're young, you're kind of weaving the web for what your life is going to be. And so,
well, you made some good decisions, honestly.
You know what? I feel very fortunate and lucky that just like pointed in the right direction. Because speaking of decisions, there's a lot that can
stray you off your path.
Yes,
derail you.
And
a lot of our friends have been derailed.
Well, I used to hang with older guys, and I saw like, oh man, he just did a speedball and now he can't play. Like
yeah, I don't want to be the guy up there sucking.
Right, exactly.
I saw. Well, we've all seen a lot of concerts where people were high. But I've seen a couple shows where people were definitely on heroin and like nodded out in like mid-sentence. But then would like jump back into the song.
It's incredible.
Like, what the hell?
Well, it just shows you like what we're capable of as humans and the mind and how
pulls you back into
it's amazing. I mean, some people, it's what they can come up with while they're high. I mean, I know some musicians used to, smoke during the session. Now, if you wanted to ruin a session, give me a joint, like it wouldn't. But I know guys that they'd have a spliff and they would be playing great.
Well, I can think of a few guys. I mean, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh.
Right,
I mean, we could just go down the reggae hole.
But yeah, exactly. So it's just amazing. But it really, I think I like to approach life like try to increase my odds for success.
Yeah, give myself a fighting chance and then
moving
some.
forward.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of friends go down because of
I think
drugs,
probably
alcohol.
It's not. I mean, your nature is the nature versus nurture thing. Obviously, you're a great and positive person, but we got to go back to thanking your parents for being good mom and dad, bringing you up in faith. And that tight family unit. I'm real close to my siblings as well.
Right.
I think it really helps. I mean, you end up with your own support group, whether you like it or not.
Well, and God gave us prayer.
People that'll keep you in line.
Yeah,
your siblings.
And your siblings, your parents, mom and dad were not playing.
There was no messing around in my house.
And
we got away with all kinds of craziness, but it was only because she didn't know. It was you'd get the look.
You know what? You think they don't know, but I think they kind of
knew.
Yeah, I think they knew.
And they knew when to jump in.
Yeah, and they're just giving you a little.
I think after 3 boys, my mom just laid down and gave up. I think she was just tired.
I mean, it's a lot, and I got to give it up to people that are still bringing family and kids into the world today.
And you got 2 kids, right?
Yeah, 2 kids today, and twins. Sarah and Noah, my heart.
Oh, they are twins?
They're twins, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're born a minute apart.
Oh, wow.
May 11th, 1:30. It was like
Can you be of opposite sexes and be identical, or is that only fraternal?
No, it's fraternal. Yeah, if you're the same sex, it's identical.
Right.
But opposite. But they get along great, and they both love music.
These are classy, well-behaved children, too. I mean, I shouldn't even call them children. They're young adults, but they're so lovely.
Well,
they're a credit to you, I'm serious.
We're thinking about keeping them, actually.
Yeah, and what I'm thinking is we convince them to take care of you guys. Where they go out and get that $1 billion lottery. Before you buy the studio, make sure mom and dad are completely set. Yeah.
No, exactly. No, there's a lot to, but we feel very blessed because they've both been just wonderful kids, and again, spending a weekend here in this very room with Noah, I mean, so much magic came out of it, and I'm still just kind of basking in the glow because it was only a couple days ago we were in here.
I thank you so much. I love one thing I love about musicians, and I think anybody who ever goes to a concert, and you want the band to play their hits or whatever, and musicians, they're moving on to the next thing. Like any kind of artist, like, yes, they appreciate their hits. They appreciate the things that got them to where they are. But they get, when they're at a gig, and the song's 15 years old, they're like, oh man, dude, I want to play this other stuff I've been working on, right? So I was going to say, one of the things I think is so cool about you is you're always moving forward. You're always doing new stuff. You're doing this record with Noah, always playing great stuff. But this takes me back. Favorite session.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or it could be most early on impressionable session.
Well,
in the beginning.
There's so many. We did I Love L.A. with Randy Newman, and there's Jeff Porcaro and all the guys from Toto, Lukather, and the squad, And then, we played it at the Lakers when they had the three-peat. They won the championship. So we went down to the Forum, or where was it, Staples, and while they were playing, and we played I Love L.A. there. It was magical. And then thinking about Jeff Porcaro, we can hear I love it, we love it.
Yeah,
you can hear his voice. But so many magical moments. Stevie Wonder in the studio he played harmonica on my first album.
Wow.
Like when Stevie.
Yeah, not everybody gets Stevie on their first record.
When Stevie plays a take, it's so incredible. You can't say, okay, let's just do one more. But we did one more. Just.
Oh, I love it. Well, and I think he's enough of a pro that he'd say, do you want me to do another one?
Exactly.
He's a sweetie pie.
And as a matter of fact, they were both so good toward the end of the record, like both takes are on the record.
There you go. Yeah.
we recorded his song, Overjoyed.
Oh, yeah.
And so, again, being in the studio with Stevie Wonder, you just see all kinds of things that you never see in day to day.
I always wanted to. I never met Ray Charles. I always thought not to focus on blind black men, but I always thought that was so. I mean, let's just say it. I'm going to say it right here for everybody that's thinking the same thing I'm thinking. It's like, okay, you're blind, and you can play. I had the experience when I was a young assistant engineer of working with an engineer who's blind. His name is Shel Talmy, and he did all the Kinks. He did all these records, and I just kept thinking, like, you're blind. Like, you're sitting at this console, and he would say, Candace, don't worry about it. Just run the tape machine. I got it. And I'm like, but you've never been in this room before. And he was like, it's okay. I got it. And I'm like, okay. So again, just give extra props to somebody that can't see, who's amazing.
And if you think about music touches us in a way that we can't really describe. So it doesn't matter whether you can see or not.
That is very true.
It's like we can't reach out and grab music, but it reaches out and grabs us.
I like that. I'm going to get a bumper sticker with that. That's my new bumper sticker. First paid gig.
Wow. The first paid gig was with the Sandy Patty Family Singers. They were called the Patty Family Singers, and I was 14, maybe 14 years old. Sandy Patty, who's gone and done very well in the Christian world.
I've heard the name.
Music, and but she had a family, and her mom and dad, Ron and Carolyn, made an album with all them singing. And that was my first session at Studio West in San Diego. It's funny. Here I am at East West Studio.
Oh, there you go.
This was Studio West in San Diego, and I remember, I'll never forget, like, this beautiful studio playing, and then when they handed me a check, I thought, wait, who? Let me make sure nobody's looking at this, because it feels like, like I just did something that I absolutely love in a most beautiful studio, the sound of your instruments being reproduced, perfect quality, and you're getting paid for it. I said, sign me up.
Yeah, there we go.
And she went on and became, very, very popular Christian artist. And but then, Barry White.
Dude, I love him so much.
He called me, and I used to come up here after playing at the Hilton Cargo Bar in San Diego. I'd come up, drive my truck, park in front of the studio, which was MCA Whitney in Burbank. And
before Sade, that was my mood music.
You know what?
Sade is one of my go-tos as well, but Barry White.
I tell you what. And that's where I met Gene Page.
Oh, yeah.
Who was doing those sessions. And
he's a friend of my husband's. Was a friend of my husband's.
Yeah, he arranged all those songs, Love Theme, and I always say I went to BWU, Barry White University, because he would come over and like give you the bass line. It's Nate, play this. Bo, tick, 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 bo, bo.
But a super nice man.
super nice man.
Yeah.
Lovely man.
Yeah, I think I worked with his son or daughter or both, or his son for sure at Soundcastle back in the day. Tall, skinny kid.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, talented. It's
And-
all a blur.
No, it is. Well, we're talking,
40 years
almost
ago,
a half
yeah.
half a century going on, but he was a brilliant musician, and talk about behind the scenes. Like I learned, you could watch a hit being created, just
Amazing.
like in real time. And then there's Gene Page, he'd
Doing the
arranged,
arrangements.
did the arrangements,
Wow.
and we toured the country, played the Apollo Theater.
Oh my God, I love it.
Played Madison Square Garden with him.
I was going to ask what the first big venue.
Yeah,
was.
those were 16 years old playing, Cobo Arena, Detroit, and Kennedy Center.
Oh my
with
God,
Barry
your
White.
parents must have been so proud.
Oh,
of you.
they couldn't believe it, and then they were saying, yeah, but have something to fall back on.
Yeah, it's always that. Yeah, what was that? And I used to say, yeah, I have my butt. Like, what are you going to fall back on? My mom was like, yeah, get a degree in economics. Or I was a psych major, so that turned out to be perfect. But,
Yeah, well, I finally committed to majoring in music, but it was like,
yeah, what was your fallback?
I'm still trying to figure out what my fallback
woodworking.
is. Yeah, exactly. No. But that's the whole thing about music that I love. There's no prescription to success.
Yeah, there's no one path. That's one of the things that I want to focus on in this is like whatever your career is or your vocation is, everybody gets there a different way. Like there's no
Absolutely,
real.
yeah.
I mean, for musicians, obviously it's practice and getting better.
Right.
But there's so many creative people, and I mean. Hell, I was going to be a marriage counselor. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how I ended up doing this. This is crazy.
Fantastic. Well, for the people that are listening, if you think about, there's no, you actually have to make that path and just visualize it in your mind.
Yeah.
Because there's no, if you ask any musician, how did you get here? Even Quincy Jones,
He was in Paris in the 40s. I mean, what was
Right.
happening there?
I mean, he broke into the music room at his high school so that there was a piano in there.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
and
that.
so and then pretty soon the teacher
He stole the trumpet?
came over and said, "Hey, here's the key to the music room. That way we don't have to keep fixing the lock."
Oh, I love it.
But
That's a great story.
This is like the trajectory of a young kid that went and just
yearning.
and discovering
Yeah.
this love for this thing that we can't put our fingers on, but we love music. Who doesn't love music?
I mean, I can't think of any culture where it isn't a positive force. I
Right.
can't think of any culture from ancient times to now.
Yeah.
I think thinking about Quincy doing that, I want to give a shout out to all those organizations that get instruments to kids in schools that can't actually
Absolutely.
afford them. Because when you said that made me think like, it'd be hard to like hand them a piano, but what I
No.
mean? But still getting violins, getting instruments into kids'
Absolutely.
hands. And music is therapy. I mean, we're biased more than most because we get to be around great music all the time. And I'm so lucky to work in this beautiful studio, and we're saying how lucky we are. But I think every person that's ever, music lifts you up.
Yeah.
It brings back memories. You remember where you heard a song.
Many Alzheimer's patients.
Yes, therapy, music therapy
Music
for
therapy
sure.
and
Autism.
autism
Yeah.
and the
Well, we're all on
mind.
the spectrum. That was
Well, exactly. No, and we all need that. That's why you remember where you were the first time you heard a certain song, and you remember.
Was it you or someone who recently told me that there's a different part of your brain? It might be our fine videographer, Tom Rogers, ladies and gentlemen, our videographer today. And my trusty steed, Keith Munson, who I always call him that. He's recording this today. We love Keith. He's a
Keith.
great engineer. But there's a different part of your brain that stores musical memory. And I didn't know that. And it's a
Okay.
long-term memory generally.
Right.
But it's a different part of your brain, and it processes differently in a different part of your brain than other types of memory. Which I thought, well, that's freaking cool. I guess to preserve it, so
Yeah.
you can pull it out like when you have Alzheimer's, I don't know. But it's supposed to be safeguarded somewhat in your cache, in your brain there.
Amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's I could be pulling this out of my ear, but that's what someone told me.
No, well, my friend and foreplay bandmate Bob James, while his wife was with us, her last few years, Alzheimer's, she had an issue. So when when they finally moved her to a home, but he took a piano in there and he recorded a lot of songs like from 50 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And she would remember the lyrics to the song,
that.
Judy James, and God bless her. She was just a beautiful soul. But in the end, music was the thing that really was
she responded to.
One of the last things that she responded to.
Wow.
And even, she wouldn't remember him, but she would remember a song from 50 years ago.
Who needs you? But keep playing.
No.
What's your name? Keep playing. Yeah.
But I thought that was really,
No,
it just
that's
really
telling.
says something about what music does to penetrate the brain. And I thought it was such a beautiful, gesture for him. He would go in there and play, and I go.
Well, please, if I get Alzheimer's, will you and the band Foreplay come and play in my home for me? Because that would be really awesome.
Absolutely.
So we've come out of high school. We're in college. We're touring on the road. Now, were you married before the Barry White tours?
Oh no, it was after. So
right.
Toured Barry White, and then I came and Anita actually went to UCLA med school, and so she got it's 13 years of your life.
Oh Lord.
To get
That's some patience right there.
It's some patience,
Yeah.
And undergraduate,
Patience and patience,
medical
yeah.
school, and then
Wow.
So residency and
Wow.
and
And you're
God
touring
bless
this
these
whole time, or
people.
you're just doing your
thing? And I'm touring, doing my thing, getting my foot set into the studio world here in LA.
I was going to say, did you find, or did you make a concerted effort to sort of segue more into session work once you had kids, or did you just keep doing both?
Both. I
gotta live.
I enjoy touring and playing in the studio equally as well. People say, "What do you like better, recording, playing live?" Both I love, absolutely love.
Yeah.
Well,
and when you're playing live, I always say this about like the engineers that are doing the front of house and stuff like that. When you're playing live, it's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're recording, you can mess up and redo your take.
Yeah.
When you're playing live on stage, shit is happening.
There's no going back and
out
redoing.
There.
No.
It's out there. So that's the great thing about it's like constant rehearsal.
Exactly. And that's where your craft and what the time that you've spent before you actually hit the stage means a lot, because when you get out there, it's live, and whatever happens, and this day, it's going to be on YouTube and everything else.
Did you ever get stage fright?
You know what? You do.
I can't see it.
I get stage fright when I'm playing, for 30 people.
Right. Well, that would almost be more, really. I think everybody's staring at you.
Or 300,000 people. I mean, it's the same. I get out there and you got to get over, take that deep breath and get over the nervousness.
Yeah. Well, I think that probably is true of everybody because I think that means you care. That's my theory.
Of course.
That's my theory about that. Well, you're so great. I mean, we could sit here and listen. I mean, he's too humble to name all the records that he's worked on, but I'm going to make him name a couple. So just give us a few. And anybody, if you're listening, and he's not naming the record that you did with him, do not get mad at him because he can't remember every damn record now.
Well, let's start with, since we're talking about records, we'll start with kind of records of the year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well,
here we go. Let's go Grammys.
But most recently there was we did Get Lucky with Daft Punk, and
I love that.
And the Random Access Memories album was really, one of those albums.
Dude, I love that song.
Yeah, loved that record, and then we did Change the World with Eric Clapton, Babyface produced. I think that was Record of the Year one year. Going back to the 80s, Footloose with Kenny Loggins.
Oh my God, dude. What a great soundtrack for that film.
And we did that and played it at the Grammys, but
Growing Up Bacon, Kevin Bacon.
Exactly.
and he and his brother have a band.
And they have a band.
Did you ever play with the Bacon Brothers?
You know what?
They need you.
I didn't know. I haven't played with them, but I have seen them. They're
good.
They're great.
And they got their thing.
Everybody loves music, though. I think music is going to be what bails us all out of where we are today.
Well, I my husband Brian's a guitar player, and he's a wonderful player. And I say he doesn't cook though. See, this is the thing. I'm like, man, I wish you knew how to cook. And he's like, well, I wish you knew how to play guitar. And I'm like,
right.
I'm like, yeah, but you playing guitar is not going to feed us. And he goes, but it has. And I go, oh, that's true. And I said, well,
wow.
And he said, but, and he gave me an electric guitar, and he said, we're going to have to cut off all your nails. I'm like, what? And then he gave me an acoustic guitar and the 61 Framus. And I don't know what it is. My whole family is musical. My husband, all these people I'm surrounded by. And when I pick up a guitar, it feels like I'm holding a bow and arrow. Like, I don't even know how to hold the damn thing. Like, I'm like, what is happening? Like, is it over my boob? Is it under my boob? Like, where does it go? And like, I don't even know how to hold it. And I'm like, what's happening? Now, Paula, our dear friend, she can play. She can play guitar. She can sing. She's so good.
Bless her.
She honors me by letting me, drunk background sing for her sometimes. But I just am marvel because I'm like, man, I don't have the musical gene. I mean, I love it. I can't live without it. I listen to music constantly, but I don't know what happened. Something happened to me.
You have to claim it, though. This is the thing. You can't
My
say
instrument is the telephone.
Right. And the thing about it is you, like, I had to go through you to be able to record in here with my son.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's true.
your musical
conduit.
gene, you were the conduit to us making magic in here for
Man, I'm honored to
for a
even hear you
week.
say that.
No,
'cause it's crazy.
and so that's why I think music brings us all together in some very mysterious kind of way, and you can't really describe it, but when I think of the connections and the people and just the life that I've had because of music, it's
And when you talk about AI, if your AI can get everything that Nathan ever played, store it in its brain, and do something good with it, then I might, and the word is might, be interested in hearing what it could come up with. But you can't replace the people, man.
Well, this
This
AI,
building would be a building without the people in it.
Yeah, AI is just basically a tape recorder of what humans have already done. It's just,
And that's okay.
and that's okay, but it's not going to come up on its own with what I think we can do. Still,
Is it though?
I
don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, let's hope that whatever gets recorded, like you said, like the data that's stored, let's hope that there's enough of a diversity and enough good stuff in there. The good stuff will come back out.
And we as humans still have to keep coming up with the goods as
Come
well.
on. Yeah, come on. That's what Nathan and I both always say that. Come on. Yeah, come on. Well, I mean, I could talk to you for hours and hours, and we will be talking later for sure. But maybe we'll do a second one with you too. But so this is what we know: church, 14 years old, bass at the church, then high school, then college in San Diego, keeps on playing, meets the beautiful Anita, who becomes a doctor, touring with Barry White, touring with everybody, playing on all kinds of records, record of the year this, record of the year, all this crazy cool stuff. Stevie Wonder played harmonica on his record. This is what I'm talking about.
Wow.
And then still today making music. He's only 14 still. Well, maybe he's 41. I don't know.
I'm 14 in my head.
Dude, I'm like 8. Like, I am retarded. Oh, you can't say that online. I'm mentally challenged. Yeah. Whatever the politically correct
Right.
term is for that. But yeah, I mean, you do feel like a kid.
You still do, and I feel music keeps us young, and
It really does.
I hope you will always let us come and make music in this beautiful room, because
Dude, we'd be honored if you keep calling. That's my attitude about it. Yeah, there's so many things I could say and ask, but I just think you're fucking amazing. That's what I'm going to say. I'm like, he's one of my favorite bass players, and all you other guys out there listening. And by the way, Sean Hurley and Pino Palladino, if you ever listen to this, I will talk to you too, and I think you're awesome too. But come on now. This is Nathan East,
yeah,
baby.
but those guys can play. I mean,
What are you doing? You're not fucking around.
No, we all try to come with it. We try to bring our A game, and I feel lucky to be in the company of all the people that I respect so much.
I
Paul
agree.
McCartney, Sting.
Oh yeah, we've
Pino,
run those guys.
Yeah, and
Dude, McCartney's badass multi-instrumentalist.
he's.
Yeah.
I mean, what can we say? And the other thing, Ringo, like, I pick up the phone and Ringo calls himself. Like, he says, "Hey, can you come up and record?" Like, I think that's amazing.
I know. He's a sweet, down to earth like that.
Down to earth.
Yeah.
And
not going through the manager. But that happens to me a lot, though, like where someone will call, like, I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Paul, but it was someone like that. And they called and they said, I think it was Robin Zander. And they're like, Robin Zander's on the phone. I'm like, all right. When I picked up the phone, he goes, "Hey, Candace." And I go, "Oh, shit." And he goes, hey, what's wrong? And I go, oh, hey, Robin. And he goes, well, who did you think it was? And I said, well, I thought it was you. And he goes, do other people call and say they're me? And I said, no, but I just didn't think you'd call. I thought you'd make your manager call. And he said, no, it's me.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
I mean, I love so many new bands too. I love Muse.
Oh, yeah.
What about the Rage Against the Machine guys? They're the Flea, dude.
Incredible.
Talk about bass players. Holy crap.
Come on.
Come on.
And a sweetheart.
The
too.
sweetest.
Sweetheart.
I did. The Chili Peppers have blessed us and come in here many times.
Wow.
So every genre of music, every style of music, we respect it. And we just love the people, like you said, man, just bring it.
By the way, 40 years ago, I was in this very room with the Jacksons, Gene Page conducting, actually in Studio One, full orchestra, 60 pieces. And at that point, I'm thinking to myself, wow, how cool is this?
Well, and what song was it?
And it was...
was it from Thriller or Bad? Or?
It was... now I'd have to jog my memory because it's 40 years ago. But I was just... And the studio
Anyways,
was
Michael
called
Jackson
United Western.
Yeah. This was the Western location in United,
Western.
our sister studio next door that we love. And recently closed, but I still have hope that will turn around and it will reopen. Capitol's going to reopen
That's
at some
great
point
news.
in time. And
Yeah.
all these people that we love so much in this community that we're in, this audio community, I mean, it's really not that big.
It's
and
a
we
pretty
all love
special
each
club.
other.
We all love each other.
Yeah.
And a few of us that have been around, we know where all the bodies are buried.
Dude, it's true, dude. It's true. We got some crazy stories, but even though this is called Trade Secrets, we're not going to dish any negative dirt about anybody. That's not how we roll.
No.
Yeah. We're just going to we might tease somebody.
But there's a lot that happens behind the scene that people don't realize. We at the moment you can just literally go on Spotify or YouTube and just pull up any song, But if people only knew
what went into making
what goes into just coordination.
Oh yeah, Joanne Tamanaga, our hero.
Joanne.
Oh my God! Shout out to JT.
Forever.
Oh my God, she's amazing. And worked for Quincy and done everything. But all these people, and I'm going to be talking to people like that too, like the contractors, the vocal contractors. Everybody is so important, in the scheme of it. So I feel so blessed. I thank you so much for coming and talking to me today. You're just so
thanks,
amazing.
Candace. And for those that want to get into the best studio, just give Candace a call here at East West Studios. Look it up online, and she will take good care of you. But this is literally ground zero for music.
Oh, man,
you
thank
know,
you
and
so
it has
much.
been for
my boss,
decades.
Doug Rogers, God bless him for saving the place. And I know you know Doug as well, so big
Doug.
shout out to Doug, and thank you so much
And
for
you had
all
your
that you did.
35th anniversary.
Yeah, that anniversary party
here.
you played. You saved my bacon on that, dude. You did.
We
That
had the
band you
best
put together.
time.
Oh, my God, it was amazing.
The best time.
And those of you who want to learn how to play bass, I'm not going to give you Nathan's number, but maybe listen to his records and pick up a bass and try to play the songs that he's playing, and then maybe figure out your own style.
And I have an online school at
Oh,
artistworks.com.
hello. This is what I was looking for. You have an online school?
Yeah, artistworks.com or nathaneastbass.com. And we give, we have a lot of curriculum up there. And then
this
we
is so
do
cool. I didn't even know about this.
video exchange programs where you send me your video playing, and then we critique and watch and get right back to you.
And he won't say this, but if you suck, do not send Nathan your video.
No.
Polish it, get it together. It's okay to make some mistakes, but come on now, as we like to say. And we're going to end it with that now. Come on.
Come on.
Nathan, thank you so much
Thanks,
for being with
Candace.
us, man. Trade Secrets, I love
Trade
you so much.
Secrets. Come on. Right here. East West Studios.
That's it.